I didn't shed a single tear when my older brother died in a fiery car wreck last Tuesday because the brother I actually loved passed away over a decade ago. My brother Marcus drove his sports car off a steep embankment outside of Denver while attempting to flee a federal tax audit. Now my elderly parents are camped out in my guest bedroom, weeping uncontrollably, just waiting for me to break down. They keep handing me damp tissues and whispering to the neighbors about how incredibly strong I am being. The harsh reality is, my grief well dried up 12 years ago. Back in 2014, my husband walked out on me and our 3-year-old daughter Chloe, right after she was diagnosed with severe cerebral palsy. I was suddenly a single mother drowning in $85,000 of medical debt, working night shifts at a logistics warehouse. Meanwhile, Marcus was a hotshot commercial real estate developer, pulling in high six figures, living in a sprawling mansion, and constantly bragging about his stock portfolio. The breaking point didn't happen overnight. It was a devastating explosion. It happened the exact week Chloe was scheduled for a life-altering spinal fusion surgery. The high-risk procedure was supposed to happen on a Tuesday at 6:00 a.m. Since my apartment was on the 3rd floor with no elevator, Marcus had promised me months in advance that Chloe and I could recover at his fully accessible, single-story rental property across town for 6 weeks. 3 days before the operation, I showed up at the property with my minivan packed with medical supplies. Instead of an empty house, I found a family of tourists swimming in the pool. Marcus had quietly rented the place out on a vacation app for $4,500 a week to fund a luxury yacht trip to Cabo San Lucas. I panicked instantly. I called him from the driveway, hyperventilating. I practically begged him to cancel the tourist booking, explaining that if Chloe went back to my 3rd floor apartment after having her spine reconstructed, carrying her up those steep stairs would literally risk paralyzing her permanently. Instead of apologizing for the mix-up, Marcus completely snapped. He yelled through the phone that he wasn't running a free charity ward for broken kids, and that it wasn't his fault my husband had the good sense to bail on a defective family. He actually called my little girl a permanent financial black hole. I stood frozen on the asphalt as he coldly said I should just surrender her to state care, because I was clearly failing as a mother anyway. Then, he simply hung up. I ended up sleeping in a hospital waiting room chair for 3 agonizing weeks while a social worker helped me secure a ground floor lease. I blocked Marcus on absolutely every platform that afternoon. Over the next 12 years, Marcus would occasionally send cheap holiday cards to keep up appearances, but I threw every single one straight into the shredder unopened. So when 2 police officers knocked on my front door last Tuesday at 11:15 p.m. to tell me he was gone, I didn't collapse. I politely thanked them, closed the door, and went back to folding my laundry. Not a single tear fell. The absolute irony of his miserable life is what actually makes me sick. He viciously berated me for being a financial failure. Yet he died hiding from federal agents because he had brazenly embezzled millions from his own clients. He called my sweet daughter a useless burden, but he spent his final years alienating everyone who ever loved him until he died completely alone. My parents still don't know the ugly truth about what happened back then. Tomorrow morning is the official reading of his estate, and his lawyers have summoned the family to a boardroom in Seattle to figure out how to pay off the massive crater of debt he left behind. My mother keeps sobbing, telling me we need to honor his legacy by pooling our life savings to protect his reputation. I haven't told her my plan yet, but I've already paid a lawyer to draft a legally binding waiver, completely renouncing all my ties to his toxic estate. I am going to walk into that office tomorrow, slide the crisp paper across the table, and walk right back out to take Chloe to her physical therapy appointment. They are mourning a generous son who never existed. I am just relieved the fraud is over.